I'm back. I'm back, guys. I'm back for all the zero people in the. Yo, David. Also, I saw your comment. I saw it from the other chat. I read it real quick about the character making films. So the character's a filmmaker in the film. Is that because that's awesome? That's giving me what's the Steven Spielberg movie that came out? Steven Spielberg movie that came out. The Fableman. Fablemans. The Fableman. I want to watch that movie. That's yeah. That's cool. Meta. I like that. There's also a film called Intrusion that I love. It's a found footage film that talks about a real event, Max Headroom incident, but a fictional story around it. Intrusion. I've heard of this one. I actually have heard of this one. You should make your own intrusion. You got to say, I'm going to make my intrusion. I'm going to make my own intrusion. I'm going to make my own intrusion. That's why I say I'm going to make my own. I'm going to make my a ghost story. I'm going to make my 2001 Space Odyssey. I'm going to make my yada yada. I'm going to make my own 5/25/77, whatever that film is. Intrusion, what year? 2021? 2021? Yeah, I think 2021. But yeah, I mean, again, for anyone who's new, who's just joining the stream, talking about making films, making your own films, starting off, looking at the films that you love, that can inform you on what the type of films that you might want to make. And even if you don't have resources, that's part of the challenge of where you're at right now in your artist journey. And the truth is, you'll never get enough resources, at least according to certain mindsets and beliefs that we may have now. But the actual truth is, we always have enough. We've always had enough to make what we're meant to make right now. So we can't let that idea stop us. So, David, you have that itch you want to scratch, that spiritual itch that you want to scratch with making a film. Got to scratch it. Might be hard to reach, but you got to scratch it. And you can scratch it by following your intuition in this creative process. Be intuitive. Look at your inspirations. Like this, again, this intrusion film. This looks like a different film from the one that you mentioned before. You could combine them into one film. What would it look like if intrusion and the other film combined into one short film? What would that look like? I'm just spitballing here, but you get the point. Like it's limitless. It's endless. That's the idea, right? So, but you dream on, you get it done. You have a good creative process. You have a good creative flow. You can do whatever you want. Every time after I'm done making a film, if I really trust my gut and my intuition throughout that process consistently, I'm always satisfied with the end result because it's what it was meant to be. And that's not even like, oh, it was bad, or it was all right, but hey, it is what it is. It was what it's meant to be. It's like, no, it was great because I followed my intuition and I got what I wanted. I got what feels right. I feel like that's the best part about making art. Bro, I'm on the spiritual path, but I don't feel motivated to do my creative work. Have you felt this, bro? Of course. Of course. I feel it. A lot of people feel it. A lot of people who I've talked to at film school, a lot of other artists I know, we all go through that. We all go through those feelings and those phases. The important thing is to not let that like affect your beliefs or your mindset around like long term. Of like, oh, I can't do this, or I'm not meant to do this. You truly do know, what is best for you, what you want to do, and you know deep down inside if it's. I'm not saying it's laziness. It could be laziness. It could be fear. It could be anxiety. It could be whatever. But don't mistake that with being the truth of like, oh, I guess it's just not for me. That's the guard your mind during this kind of phase or this feeling. And you'll get back to it, no doubt. Some things help. A lot of things help. It could be anything. There's never like a one k. Oh, like if you're feeling like your creative energies often do this, or it's because of this or that. Those answers lie deep within you. I can never tell you. So I'm always going to tell you to go back to yourself. But some things that help me could resonate is sometimes it's physical energy is off. I'm not getting enough sunlight or water or movement. Right? I'm sleeping in maybe. I'm not feeling too great. Not making really good dietary decisions. Creative energy, physical energy, it's all interconnected. It could be something deeper. It could be going through, a depressive phase. You could be going through something, a lot of stress or a lot of anxiety about something that's maybe even completely different. It could be fear. It could be fear that's stopping you, a deep-rooted belief that maybe you're not worthy of making this, or you're not good enough to make it. Which of those things can require just deeper work. But again, the answers are within you, and I feel like no matter what the reason is for it, whatever is making you feel this creative war, the creative energy is off. If you don't feel the motivation, I feel like no matter what the reason is, what's at the root, something that consistently helps me is when I just make very just simple decisions that are for my overall good. If I'm talking to myself lovingly, if I'm on my side, if I'm thinking getting in the habit of thinking more positively than negatively, taking care of myself again, taking care of my body, making sure I'm making good healthy decisions for myself, getting enough movement. If I'm making basic good decisions for myself, that's going to help all other areas of my life, and could even bring things up to the surface that are those blocks and those answers that you need as to why you're not feeling the motivation. And also find the fun. Like if you find the fun, that's really like the true liquid gold. Because the idea is right. Like if you don't, sometimes like you don't feel like doing it because it's like, I don't really feel like it, or I don't want to do it, or it's too much. But if you find the fun, right? Why is it so easy to play video games? Because they're fun. If you can find the fun within your creative work, you feel motivated, what's going to stop you? There's no reason why you would. The people want to say, "Oh, I don't really feel like playing video games. Too much work." What? No, that's that doesn't happen. So with your own creative work, you find the fun, and it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. At least in my eyes, my creative process, whenever it's fun, that's really the true like. That's a true flow. Get the flow state. Do research on flow state. Flow state is a hack. Flow state is incredible. You block out time. The basic idea is you enter this state where you just no distractions. You're getting work done. You're getting 10 times the work done in a certain amount of period. You lock yourself away. Get rid of the distractions. Go in a room with like low stimulation, like white walls. That's what I have. My grandpa built me an office, so I'm very, very blessed with that. But go somewhere where like you don't have a bunch of distractions around. You just set the time for an hour and a half. Set yourself a goal and just go and don't stop. And that's how you can help achieve flow state. Other things help, but flow state is awesome. But the motivation can be temporary, but discipline can be forever if you decide it to be so. And also, if you're on the spiritual path, this is part of your spiritual journey, is overcoming this. And it's something that I also struggle with too, procrastination. I'm going to do a video on procrastination probably after the summer because I'm still battling with it. So I want some more material to talk about, more lessons and everything, more things that I can share. But certain things are helping me with procrastination, which is really nice. Yeah. Any free softwares you use in the filmmaking process? Oh my gosh. For editing, DaVinci Resolve. Get it now. Hopefully your laptops can hold it up, but DaVinci Resolve, it's free. It's what I use right now for all my films. It's industry standard. Films have been edited on it before, like feature films. It's a lot better than Premiere Pro in my opinion. Just workflow and everything. Its After Effects is like almost on par with Adobe After Effects. Its sound is just as good, if not better, than Premiere Pro. I think it is better because it's got like Fairlight Studio, which is its own like studio within the software. And also it's free. Resolve is free. I know I said that, but it's free. The coloring is incredible. The coloring is, for me, it's a lot better than Premiere Pro. And also it's free. DaVinci Resolve is free, and it's free. You don't have to pay monthly for it. For screenwriting, you could use Writer's Duet. That's free. I use Final Draft. You have to pay. It's like 100, 200, 300, something like that. But wait for Black Friday. It goes on sale. It's a really nice sale. That one is great because Writer's Duet, you can write up to a max of like 3, I think, like three scripts. Final Draft is like unlimited and a lot more things and everything. It's industry standard as well. So it's great. Yeah. Color graded in DaVinci Resolve has great coloring within there. Shucks, I almost missed this stream. Oh, JDO, I feel like you were there at the beginning of the first stream, right? Or no? I don't know. How's your day? My day is great. Thank you for asking. How's your day? I just landed in Florida a few hours ago. I'm visiting my grandparents now down here. So I'm going to have a really nice week with them. And yeah, it's going well. It's super hot down here in Florida. It's super hot. A little too hot. We're going to go to the beach later. So that's going to be fun. And I just uploaded a video. So I'm feeling good about that. Feeling good about getting back into the long form YouTube video flow. I posted a bunch of vlogs in the past couple months for film school, but I'm excited to return to the other form, more specifically about creativity and everything. For me, it's truly laziness and an unbalance of getting burned out easily. I feel I need to be more healthy. Yeah. Honestly, a lot of us don't want to face it, but like we have to make we have to make good, healthy decisions for ourselves. That's going to help our art and our creativity. That's why I think like the creative journey, the artist journey is like so unique. It's so special in that way. And it's both like, it makes it harder, but also more impactful and profound. Is that in order to be a better artist, I truly believe that we need to work on ourselves all around. You know, the smarter we are, the better we are, the healthier we are, the better we are, and the better artists we will become. The more we work on ourselves, the better artists we'll become. Like all these things. That's why I think it actually is a very special journey. And yeah, that will help your creative energy, making better decisions for yourself. And yeah, laziness, don't shame yourself. It's easy to shame. Don't shame yourself. Because if you shame yourself in the wrong way, then that can hurt your own relationship with yourself. And you need to be your biggest supporter. You need to be on your side. But you need discipline. And discipline, I heard somewhere, discipline is the strongest form of love. It's choosing something that you may not want now, but sacrificing that part of yourself that's going to experience that pain for ultimately a better life for yourself. And it is love. That is actually love. That's love for yourself. And yeah, laziness is a tough one. Laziness is very tough. I battle with it every day, like we all do. But yeah, and burnout. Yeah, burnout is a thing. I feel that at the end of every semester. I remember the worst burnout I ever felt was at the end of, it was the winter break of my junior year. I came back home after working on my junior narrative film, the Louisa film, on my YouTube channel. I've never felt so, because I was like, I'd never worked on a film that big before, and it was for like months I was working on it. Like every day it was just consuming my mind. And then when it was finally done and the semester ended, I think I was the first, I don't think I've ever had depression, but if I did, it was that month there. I wasn't even depressed. I was just like, I was so burnt out that it felt like that whole winter break, those 4 weeks just felt like a blur. Like I didn't even do anything. Laziness, getting up late, not really. I don't know. I feel like I just didn't do much because I was so burnt out. I was so incredibly burnt out. And of course you need that reset. You need to like recharge. Like maybe like a week or two is good to like, clear the mind, but also like you can journal. You can get up early. You can get sunlight. You can get water. You can do good things for your mind. You can do work here and there. Maybe take off from work for maybe a week or so if you can afford it, but there's no reason why you need to be in a slump for a month, no reason in terms of like, let that be an excuse so that, you're excused from making good decisions for yourself. But yeah, burnout is really, it's a tough challenge, but yeah, it's all about those decisions. Life is all about decisions. I also have like not hyperbole, 40 film books. I've only touched two, and I really want to get into a reading flow. Yeah, sick. Me too. I have a bunch of books. I probably have 100 books. And I'm getting to a reading flow right now, um, with a book that I rented from the library, so it's not even mine. But it's something I feel called. Like I feel like God is calling me to read it right now. That's why I'm doing it. So it takes the hey, if God decides it for me, it takes priority. Um, and it's really great. It's called I have it here because I really wanted to. I was reading Dune, and I was like, looking at the characters, how like Paul and his father, the Duke, talk with each other, and how they're just so knowledgeable about the planet Arrakis that they're entering into, and it was just making me think like, I really care about my own mission here on Earth. It would make sense if I was educated on Earth and its people. That's why I got the book Earth and Its People, the textbook, because I really want to learn more about history. But this is really great. A little history of the world. I'm reading this now. Some of this stuff I've already fact checked that it's not totally, like 100% accurate, but it's more of like a overall story, like an overall kind of picture of basic like world events. So I'm like starting very basic, and then I'm going to go more in depth. And again, it's important to remember, like, this is from one perspective. This is one man, so you need a bunch of different perspectives, because I think one of the other issues is that history can be, obscured. History can be told from a certain perspective, and then that kind of forms our worldview. I think that's one of the weaknesses that we have collectively, and why we're so creatively drained, is because we give so much reliance and so much just, I don't know if the word's credibility, but we take everything for granted. Like, we don't question, like, okay, yeah, the people at the top got everything under control. All right, I'm gonna just stay here. We have the luxury of not having to think about those other big things, or having to think about the world and our history and on all these things. Like, no, like, the people at the top got it. They already figured it out. So yeah, it's important to educate yourself on all these things. And yeah, this is helping me get into my reading flow. Like you said, I have a lot of books too I want to get into. There's a lot, but it's exciting. Something that, it's all about perspective, right? Like, something that I tell myself is like, okay, I have a lot to read, but I get to have all these books. I get to read all these books. Like, I have all these books to get to. I haven't read them yet. Sometimes it happens, like, oh, you watch a film, like, oh, I wish I could watch that for the first time. Well, that's the same thing with all your books. You get to read all these for the first time. Because chances are, if you have all those books, you have them for a reason. You're probably going to love a lot of them, probably most of them, you're probably going to really love. So, it's your first time, just when you're reading it, it's your first time reading that book. That's a cool experience. You're not going to get that again, no matter what happens, unless you erase your memory, like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. You're not going to be able to read that book again for the first time ever, ever again. You could reread. That's something I feel like I already want to do with some of my books, because they're just that good. But yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Wow, video games too much work. So I'm saying, man, doesn't happen. Grandpa built you that dedication. Dang, I know. My grandpa's I'm very, very blessed. He built my bedroom and my office in the basement. And it's those spaces for me mean everything. It's a big reason why I'm able to get to the work that I can do this summer undistracted. Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Have you ever questioned your passion for filmmaking? Yes, I actually have. I remember it was like a year or two ago. I forget when exactly. I think I actually was at the time of that burnout. I think it might have been like a little after that burnout. I was so like done with filmmaking, and I still had to make my experimental documentary for film school, which is awesome. I love making that film. That was an incredible experience. But I think it was somewhere around that time. I forget if it was after making that or before that winter break. I don't know. There's a long period of time where I didn't, because I always had a project in the works of like, just like, that I had so much fun with. So when it was the Louisa short film, it was that fun. Like, I was having fun, like, with the mood boards and inspirations. Like, oh yeah, this is gonna be like my first big film, my filmography. And I was just thinking about my future career as a director. And before that, it was a bunch of like feature script ideas I would just conceptualize and write about and talk about, and just always something to romanticize. After the Louisa short film, I was romanticizing the Echoes short film that's on my channel, the one that I made after, but there was a phase, I can't remember, there's a few months where I was like, man, I don't know if I necessarily questioned like, man, is this filmmaking thing for me? But I vaguely remember like thinking like, oh man, like maybe it's not film. I don't know. I was there was something, yeah, there was something there. That was crazy. But then I got into my senior thesis. I was like, nah, nah. We're gonna, this is too much fun. This strikes me too much. But there was a phase in there where I was like, I don't know. This is I was looking at film like responsible for my depression era. I'll be like that. I don't know. But um, hey, it can happen. The important thing is like you just true deep like self-reflection. Things can pass, you know. But the things that stick around, that are meant to stick around, are meant to stick around. And I know like if God has other plans for me, then so be it. But I really feel deep in my heart like I'm meant to be a filmmaker, and that's my North Star that God's given me right now. That's my North Star, so I'm going to pursue that, and that's going to lead me wherever I need to be, whether that's becoming a filmmaker, big filmmaker or not. Those are the visions that I see for myself. Those are the visions that I have. Those are the feelings that I have, and I'm going to move in confidence in that way. And if it changes, then so be it. But that is what I believe. That's what I truly believe. That's what I'm dreaming on. And I feel it deep in my soul. I know it's meant for me. I know I'm meant to be pursuing this path. Are you going to release your thesis film on here? Yeah. So that's the thing I was thinking of. I do want to release it on YouTube. I'm gonna be pondering that the next couple weeks as I submit it to more film festivals. Because the thing is, like, if you submit it, because I want to submit it to Sundance, but I think if I submit it to Sundance, I had to look more into the rules. I don't think they allow it to be online streaming. So I don't know. But also, like, if I submit it to Sundance, then that means that I don't know when I'll hear back from them. It could be months, and I don't know if I want to wait months to put it on YouTube. I really want it. I want you guys to watch it like soon, like really soon. So, but once you guys do watch it, I know a lot of you are gonna love it. I love it so much. It's wow, so much work that went into that. I have a whole behind the scenes vlog video that I want to do on it. I vlogged like the whole making, so there's a lot that went into it. It's an idea I had from sophomore year. It's been like technically years in the making, and it came out better than I. It came out to the vision, the thing that I always felt inside. So it's the best film experience that I've had so far. Yeah, I had this question in my mind for a while. Do you believe in creative limits, as in nothing in original anymore? That new ideas are remixed versions of ideas in the past? Yeah. I mean, like on this, I don't. Creativity is limitless, so no, I don't think there's limits. But there's an interesting quote actually from Rick Rubin's book, The Creative Act, or On the Creative Act, or something like that. I forget what the exact quote is. It's a beautiful way of articulating it, and it was like, wow, he put this thing into words that I've always felt. He talks about how like something about like a cloud that splits up into multiple clouds, and then they come back together and they form the same cloud, and it splits up again. And that's kind of like, in a way, creativity and us and the world around us, in a way of like the cloud can always be splitting up into millions of parts forever until the end of time, but it always is the same cloud. So it's like yes and no. Like everything is a recycling. All the creativity, all the ideas around us, all the pieces of art, it's all like the same thing. It's all just a recycling in a way, but also it's limitless. It is also at the same time limitless. Like it's just it's never. It depends how you define original, I guess. But I would say that there will never be a time where you can't make a film that feels original, because again it is limitless, and that's why I think it is it's more than just art. It has to do with our world too, because if we tap more into this creativity, we can transform the world around us, because our world needs new ideas. There's a quote from philosopher and physicist Peter Wang, and he says, that the world around us is made up of games that our previous generations all agreed to play. Previous generations, the key word, right? They agreed to play these games, but are we mindlessly settling for them? I talk about this in my video called Why Creativity is Important. And that's why I think it is important, because we need new games, we need new ideas. I think that's the reason why the Greek civilization was so successful in what they did. They were like one of the first civilizations to actually question things and actually question the teachings of their previous generations. That's the way they were able to innovate. And yeah, I think that if we can really tap into that, it's super important. And as it connects to art, yeah, I think it's limitless. I think it's always, but again, at the same incredible like spiritual core, like it's all this cloud, right? It's all part of the same cloud. God. It's all part of God. That's what I believe. You believe in? Oh, I've had the same question. There's this idea that there's only like 7 kinds of stories. Yeah, there's a lot of archetypes. I think archetypes are beautiful. I think that archetypes are a beautiful like demonstration of, I mean, again, double-edged sword, right? Because they can limit you. You could be like, oh, my story doesn't align with this, so I gotta trash or I gotta change it to align. No, no, no. You follow your intuition. But archetypes are this beautiful thing of like, they show the commonalities that we have in our stories. A lot of them. I think that's really awesome. It shows that there's a shared language. It shows that there's something higher than just us writing stories in our own rooms. There's a common experience that we're all having, and it's reflected through the art that we make. So that's the way that you can use archetypes. I really think, like, leaning into that, the collective kind of consciousness of art is there's these different archetypes that you have, and stories or characters. I think it's a great thing to kind of like push into that, lean into yourself. My new YouTube video, yeah, or lean into yourself, but also lean into the archetypes, I guess. Sorry for your burnout. I hope that never happens again. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. You don't have to be sorry. I was sorry for myself at the time. Jeez, but if something similar happens, I'll be better equipped because I learned from it. I gained XP from it. You know what I mean? But yeah, burnout. If you experience burnout, like now, if that happens to me, like I'm gonna recognize it early and be like, okay, I know what this is. I've been through this before. I'm not about to enter a mindless slump. Take some time off, but be very conscious. I want to continue my habits of good, healthy decisions physically, journal, even meditate, go on my walks. Those things aren't, yes, maybe they're harder decisions to make um, than just sleeping around all day or scrolling or playing video games, but I can do those things. Like, I have the energy. Maybe I don't have all the energy right now to do a bunch of deep work all day, but I have the energy to simply pick up my journal and write. I do. I do. So you can do that. And that's going to help you a lot during burnout. This is coming from a random person. What do you think you would be doing if it wasn't film? This is not coming from a random person. This is coming from legend Tim K, bro. Um, what do you think you'd be doing if it wasn't film? Probably be like a massage therapist. No, I'm kidding. I saw a message retracted, so it made me think of massage. Um, if I wasn't doing film, I'd be doing music. Oh wait, I'm already doing music. Um, Another, I'm thinking of like jobs. You know what? Actually, I was thinking, because I'm doing videography freelancing. Um, yeah, I'm doing videography. I'm getting into it, and I'm looking at, like, people who shoot weddings and people who do videos for weddings. And I was getting very emotional. I was like tearing up watching the videos, just because I'm a very sensitive person. Very easy for me to cry. So these wedding videos were like profound, and I was like, man, like the people who get to do these weddings, or like whether it's work at a wedding or be I guess the priest or whatever who initiates it, or whatever the word is, that'd be a cool job to have. And I was thinking, like, in another life, I feel like that would be me, maybe. Yeah. So maybe I'll work at a wedding. I'll do that. That's what I would do. And also art. I still have to create. I have to do something. Like, I have to. Painting is cool. I want to get into painting. Do Sundance, bro. It's always worth a shot. Yeah, I put so much work into this film. So many people helped out with this. It's a big film. It's a really big deal for me. So that's why it's like, and I have the confidence. I feel like I could get in, but I don't know. I have to decide. I have to see. Is it worth delaying the release? I would be. It would be. I don't know. I gotta think more on it. To avoid Sundance, you can make the film unlisted and post it on the Discord. That's true. Could post it on the Discord. That's actually a pretty good point. I'll consider that. Join the Patreon if you guys want to get in the Discord. Loved your new video. Oh, thank you for watching it. Thank you, Isha. Thank you. I'm happy that you loved it. Happy that it resonated. That's great. That's something very personal, very, very true. Reflects a lot of what I feel about being a young artist and my reflections after film school now. I can relate with your want to learn more about the world. I feel like one of the great things about art is being able to explore and interpret the world in your own way. Yeah. And your voice matters, right? Like the way you see the world matters. Because if you just leave it up to people who've already claimed to know the world and identify the world, that's why the whole saying, history repeats itself. It's just going to be the same forever then. But we need to look at the world in different ways. I think the beautiful thing about being an artist is like sometimes you can take these like specific niches in industries, whether it's like technology, like AI computing, or climate change, or science, biology, all these different like areas of study in the world. The beautiful thing about being an artist is you can have a zoomed out, detached kind of perspective that is no more or less valid than the people who are zoomed into the specifics. Like someone could look at AI and make a profound statement, artistic statement, an artist could, on AI that shapes the way that we see AI better than a lot of people who know everything there is to know about AI. That's the whole thing about like, what's the story or the thing about so many like things I know, I just don't know the name of them. But the whole thing of, there's two people, um, there's two people who are related to color, right? The idea of color, seeing color. There's someone who knows everything there is to know about color, but they're colorblind. But they know all the facts about color, the science of color, everything about it, but they're colorblind. They can't see color. And you have someone who knows nothing about the science of color, but they see in color. Who knows more about color? Can't really say, right? If anything, I would argue in the most important aspect, in the most important regard, it's the person who can see color. It's the experience itself, right? So, your voice matters, your perspective matters. It helps to educate yourself on all of these so that you can have you can bring an artistic lens to it. And an artistic lens is not just like making a nice metaphor for it. No, like the process of being an artist, the process of having creativity and a creative vision is actually connected deeply to your soul. And if you connect deeply to your soul, really like the soul's way of seeing the world is a lot more wise than the human mind's way of seeing the world. So that's why creativity is super important. We need to bring these new ideas and these fresh new understandings. And that's what always happens in in art, right? It's new perspectives. It's always been the case. It's a representation of something. But yeah, very motivated to learn about the world. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I believe there's no limits to creativity. Yes, another question. How long does it take to make, edit, finish YouTube video? Oh, it depends. Usually I'll work on ideally it takes me a week. So I'll like Monday, Tuesday, I'll like write out everything like the script and maybe like work on the shot list on Wednesday, and then I'll film it on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday I'll edit it. That's an ideal week. And I've done that for a good amount of my videos, but some of them like just take longer. Like this one's been one that like I wasn't consistent on the script. I was working on the script here and there across a few weeks, but not like every day in the weeks, just like here and there. But then this week I kind of like just I committed like, okay, this week I'm going to get it done. So then Friday, Monday, Tuesday, I finalized everything, the script, and Wednesday shot list and everything. And Thursday I filmed it. Yesterday I started editing it. And then today I finished editing and I uploaded. So yeah, and that's the kind of like that system will get me one video a week. That will be the content system for that. But yeah, and I do like an hour. My work day, it can range from 1 to 4 hours every day. So if I'm like writing maybe like one, and I'll write for like an hour a day, an hour and a half, and then I'll shot list for like an hour, and then I'll film. Filming usually takes a little longer, maybe like 2 3 hours. It could take up to four if I'm doing like B-roll and stuff, and then editing usually takes almost just as long. Editing can take a few hours, maybe like 2 3 hours a day. Um, yeah, but if another video is like a lot easier, just like talking to the camera, then that will take less. Um, how do you manage multiple interests? Personally, for me, my two obstacles are time management and shallow level of learning for each subject. You have a lot of interests. That's a good thing. Um, I mean, I always say, like, I always say when people ask me this is like, you pick what feels best right now to go more into. Um, like if you're like five hobbies that you really want to do, but like they're too overwhelming, just like pick the one that feels right. Doesn't necessarily have to be your end all be all. You don't have to be like, oh, I have to commit to this one, I guess, and the other ones I'm putting aside. No, just pick one that feels right and just pursue it. And usually the answer is like, we know the answer. It's like, yeah, but it's really hiking. I know at the end of the day, like, it's hiking. Something that is funny that always happens is like if I'm deciding between two things and I'm doing a coin toss, and I'm like, oh, I really don't know what to do, and I flip it, and if it lands on one, and if I'm changing, and if I want to flip again, then that means that I actually want the thing that that coin flip didn't give me. Like that's the reveal right there. That's showing what I actually truly want. So a lot of times we truly know what we do want, but I would say pick one of your things, pursue it um, more heavily than the others because it can be hard. It can be really hard to balance everything. I the same thing with me throughout the past few years. I've had so many different projects and ambitions and things I wanted to pursue. I wanted to put time into so many things. My film, my music, blogs, social media. Um, I wanted to get into like thrifting. I wanted to get into reselling things. I wanted to get into making stickers for like Redbubble. I wanted to get into so many other things, but it was just really overwhelming. And it resulted in not putting a lot of time into like any of them really. And now I'm able to commit to my social media, commit time to my music, commit time to my films, commit time to my. Now I'm getting back into the blogs. So like all these other things. I kind of neglected my blogs of this year, just with everything happening, all these different projects. But throughout time, I've been able to create more of a better system after really exploring, certain things more in depthly over the others. But I would say that just pick one thing, and you don't have to get rid of the other things. Like for me, like film and music, I love equally. So I'm not going to decide like I'll be a filmmaker over an artist. No, I don't want to. I don't want to sacrifice music for filmmaking or vice versa. I want to pursue both, and I have the drive to pursue both. That's why I am doing both. And sure, maybe if I didn't pursue music, I could pursue more into film, but I would rather have both than put more time into one over the other. And those things can also like change. Like right now, I'm going to put more time into music just because I'm not actively filming anything right now. I'm just like writing scripts. And then when it comes to shooting a film, I'm not going to be making music. Maybe I'll be like writing lyrics here and there for certain songs, but it's like certain phases come in and out, and they kind of balance each other. And yeah, so you don't have to sacrifice things forever, but pick one right now that feels good. Yo, I know you had a Discord. Yes, Discord is subscribe to the Patreon to get access to the Discord. Patreon link is in my YouTube YouTube descriptions, my YouTube video descriptions. But yeah, Discord is a lot of fun. And it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow a lot this summer. Experience is the best teacher, and for me, I think experimentation. Yep, experience really is the best teacher. It really, really is. Experience is the essence of it all. Like I talked about this in the "It's Time to Take Your Dream Seriously" video, where like if you don't prioritize experience right now, then you're never gonna prioritize it. meaning if you don't open your eyes to the experience that you have right now, you can have a total ideal version of your future, but once you get there, you're not going to be open to that experience because you didn't learn to live that way before. So be open to your experience right now, and then you will naturally be in that mindset once you get to a more ideal future. Even though the trick really to life is never being in anticipation, right? It's always being open now. That'll bring more to you. Yes, one of the things I love doing is experimentation, especially with how characters react to and are formed by their environments. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah. And you could even use like archetypes of characters and experiment with those things. Like you can already use formulas and change things intentionally to challenge kind of traditional notions of how to write characters. Hey man, good to see you back. Proud of you. Keep shining. Hey, thank you, Baba. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm gonna keep shining. I hope you're shining as well. I hope you're dreaming on. I'm happy to be back after a long semester, my final semester of college. Very happy for all the videos that I'm working on now that I've been putting out the past few weeks, and it's only gonna grow this summer. So it's a lot of fun. Hey, how can I learn English? I'm actually using I'm not consistently, but I was using Duolingo. That was helping me a lot learn Portuguese. What flag is that? I'm not sure what flag that is. But I was learning Portuguese on Duolingo, and that was very helpful. I would maybe use Duolingo. Like I know it's like a very cliche. I know it's like the obvious answer, but I think there's a reason why it's so popular. The only other thing I've heard of is like Rosetta Stone. I've never done that though, so I don't know. Are you from the USA? I am from the USA, from the East Coast, baby. Born and raised. Have you read John Truby's The Anatomy of Storytelling? Currently reading and studying it. No, I've not. The Anatomy of Storytelling. The Anatomy of Storytelling. I'll look into this. 20 steps to oh, that's cool. I think I'll enjoy that one. Thank you for the book rec. I'm look into it. Are you getting something out of it? The Anatomy of Story. The Anatomy of Story. Yes. That looks cool. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a lot of books right now. I'm technically in the middle of like probably 20 to 30 books. But by the middle, I mean probably like the first like 10 pages. So actually can't really say that. But yeah, I'm cycling between right now. The books I'm actually reading are this one, A Little History of the World, and then Dune, and then there's another one that I'm reading consistently. Oh, this one on dreams, interpreting dream or dream work. I have most of your videos archived. Just the messages in them connect with me so well. I have a tendency of forgetting why I'm still alive. Videos give me a new perspective. That's incredible. Wow. That's amazing, dude. That's so amazing to read. That's great that you feel that way. It makes me very happy that like your support. I hope you know like your support means so much to me. Like when I read it, and then it's always consistent. You always commenting a lot, commenting different thoughts on it, and all of the love is much appreciated by me. And the content that I make is ultimately just it's a reply back to that kind of receive and end, which you're always receiving my content so well, and I love that you and so many other people here in the community are all talking and communicating about these ideas, but everyone's just really enjoying the content, and that means the most. So thank you. Help me get through a tough day that no other video really did. Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing. That's really, really great. Makes me happy, dude. Awesome. I feel the love. Did I hit my mic? No. That's awesome, dude. Let me know what other content you want to see. I feel like everything that I make is ultimately, I would say mission oriented, but it's ultimately, I trust that it's the content that I'm meant to be making at that time, and it's meant to reach whoever's going to watch it. right now. It's meant to get to the amount of people that it will get to. Each post is not meant to be any bigger or smaller about any other topic than it is. It's all in its divine alignment. It really is. I really do believe that. So it's great to be able to. I mean, I'm so blessed that I have this opportunity to even be able to do this, to make content. That's why I'm doubling down, because like, wow, what an opportunity, what an opportunity. So I gotta. That's why with this camera, so much content this summer, guys. So much content. It's really exciting. It's really, really exciting. I'm gonna have to head out, but I'm gonna read the last comments, the last chats. Thank you, JDO. I appreciate it so much, brother. Yeah, I really want to understand how a story works and how to really write them. I find most of the times when consuming any kind of narrative media, I'm confused so often, even when it's a simple story. Narrative media, what do you mean by that? Do you mean the news or no? You mean just stories in general? I agree with JDO. I find myself questioning my purpose quite often too. Your videos and your wisdom really help me clear the fog in my mind. I can say you're truly helpful to me. Oh, well, that's awesome. Wow. I said before, how my biggest mission with my life, even above my content, is like bringing people closer to God. And I really do believe, like, for me, the way that I see the world right now is I feel like we're very disconnected from, so like, our true selves, our souls. We're disconnected from God. We're disconnected from our creativity. And the thing about creativity is it's universal, right? Like, we all love creativity. We all love art. We all love. That's the thing, is like, no matter what kind of like inhumane acts people engage with on this planet, you probably have a favorite song, right? Art is this beautiful language that's able to connect us universally. And I feel like that's why it touches us so deeply. And that's why I feel like it is important ultimately to our collective mission on this planet. But it starts with us and our own mission with ourselves and our own purpose. We can feel drained, we can feel tired, we can feel just disconnected, like you said, like foggy minded. And I've been through the same thing. And I think it's at the root of it all is because we're not really sure on what. It's a lack of clarity, right? A lack of clarity on what we should be doing or what we're meant to be doing. But that's something I really care about, and I think it's super important. And I want to make more content on that, more mission oriented. And like, honestly, like, creativity is that's my niche. But also, and something I've been thinking about this summer, I think I want to lean more into, just on the topic of spirituality that Carla was talking about before, is this idea of a mission, this idea of a purpose, this idea of finding a purpose, this idea of finding, like, what is, we live in this world that this world gives us so much, but it doesn't give us what we need, right? So how do we find what we truly need? Especially in this age right now that we live in, the state of the world right now, which there's so many issues collectively with their species that if we don't address collectively, it's only going to get worse. But it can seem overwhelming to even think about that. Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck, so they can't even think about bigger issues, right? America's the land of the free. America's the right the what is it, the leading nation, or the example for the rest of the world. But our masses can't really think about the rest of the world. So how does that stand? How does that exist? How does that kind of label or identification hold up? It doesn't really, because a lot of us we're not really collectively unified, because we're not unified with ourselves first at the individual basis. That's why it's so important that we have to connect with ourselves. And then I think in turn, we do have to become planet conscious. We do have to become humanity, species conscious at some point. And I would love to see it in our lifetime. That's it's up to God. It's up to the man above. But our own lives and our own journeys, that is the foundation of it all. If we're not connected with ourselves, nothing happens. That is the hope. So we have to connect with ourselves. And I do want to speak more to that within the content. And I already do kind of talk about it, but there's some video concepts I have in mind. But it's incredible to read what you guys are saying. And Yeah, there's something really great. Something really great happening. There's some lack of clarity or some fog, but in the big world that we live in, there's something happening. I feel it. There's something happening. Time keeps going. The sun's gonna come out. The sun's gonna come up every morning, right? Every day is a new day to make new decisions. And the world's gonna keep changing. And I think at some point we're gonna realize that there's a lot more influence that we can partake in over our own lives and our collective lives than we think. And we start with our projects. We start with our creativity. We start with the things that we have going on in our life right now. I think the more that we can follow our hearts and trust that path, the more we're going to see these things play out. And yeah, I'm going to make more videos like this on these ideas with creativity and everything. Again, like pick ideas that resonate, right? Pick videos that resonate. Do things that resonate. That's how you get to what you're meant to do and make. I really want to every so often push myself. I don't know, maybe more vlogs. A day of how you live your life for inspiration, but your style and theme is just near perfect to me. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to do because I did a lot of vlogs, obviously in film school, and I was thinking it'd be nice to do a vlog, maybe just not I'm out of film school, showing like my process, my day in the life for me. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that for sure. Do a vlog, day in the life. That'll be really nice. It'll be nice, yeah, that just show because also there's so much that I want to share with you guys and like things that I really want to share that have worked for me. For example, like certain habits, routines, and just time blocking, flow state, getting into workflow, certain things like that. They produce results and they put you on a certain path. And when I've disconnected and fallen off of that path, there's always been things that have kind of like been my rock in that sense. So yeah, I think making a video on that would be really, really nice for sure. That'd be really cool. Thank you for that idea. And yeah, I hope it does inspire. Maybe more videos on how your art affects you, what you learn from it. I'll write this down. How your art affects you and what you learn from it. Yeah. I touched on it in work and art. I touched on it in the video, the newest video. I think I said the artist's journey is a personal journey of spiritual evolution. Again, like when you make art from the soul and then you experience that art, sometimes you don't realize what that art meant until when you're experiencing it or when I watch the film, like, oh, so that's what that meant. This is what this film is meant to do. And that's really important stuff. And yeah, I think it's all interconnected that way. Yeah. Hey, yeah, becoming more something I always do is I journal on my pieces of art. I journal about it heavily. If I'll finish a semester, I'll journal on everything that I made. Why was I meant to make this? What did it teach me? What is it? What part of my soul is like? One of the most profound things that ever happened for me was I made this short film called Remote Lucid with a friend back in college, I think sophomore year. And it was about this boy who had these lucid dreaming powers where he could change the real world within his dreams. And what he wanted to do, he wanted to use the power for good. And he wanted to, I think, it's on my main channel. It's on another YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the Discord or something. But what was I going to say? Oh, so he has this power to change the world basically, and is within his lucid dreams. But when he goes into a lucid dream, he's trapped in his room, in his bedroom, so he can't go out. So he can affect everything in his room. When he wakes up, it's changed, it's different. But when he's in within his dream, he can't get out of his bedroom. He's trapped. So it kind of causes him to not be able to change the rest of the world. And so he's frustrated with this. He's trying to like figure out how can he get out of his bedroom within his dream so he can use his power for good and go out. and then and the waking world, his room is a mess. And what he needs to do essentially is, like, within the dream, he first needs to clean his room and organize his room, and then he can get out and he can kind of advance to the next level. And that's the idea of, like, that was like my soul telling me I have all these dreams, all these things I want to do in the world, but I need to start with myself. And I realized that as I really, like, sat back and reflected on that and watched it. I was like, wow, this is my soul talking to me. This is God talking to me. So that was pretty profound. That was pretty profound. But yeah, I journal, like, and reflect on my pieces of art. And yeah, there's so much, like you're saying, there's so much, there's a lot you can learn from it, and it can affect you on a deep level if you allow it to. But you have to create from the heart. If you make something for someone else, you make something logically, then it may not teach you as much as what it's meant to teach you. Hope you wrote down both of our ideas. I did. Don't feel stressed to be limited by them. Whatever you make, I know it's going to be made for love. Oh, thank you, JDL. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I did write down the ideas, and they're great ideas. They're going to help me with the content. You'll see the vlog out. I want to do a vlog. I do want to do day in the life vlog. Yeah, and art, reflecting on art, how it affects you. I think that's awesome. Like, that's really great. Thank you guys for being on this stream. I got to peace out now, but you guys have been incredible. I appreciate all of you so much. Love you all a lot, and I hope that you're all doing great with your projects. Make good decisions. We're all in our own video game of a life right now, so we can level up this character. We can do the missions. We can do side quests, but don't go AFK. Don't go AFK on me. Do something. Do the things that we got to do. Dream on. Enjoy. Do something good for yourself today. Do something. If you don't decide to do something good for yourself today, or something that's going to bring you joy, then it's not going to happen. You have to be proactive about that. Happiness is a choice, so go do something that's nice and healthy and joyful for yourself. And yeah, make sure you're getting to work. That's a lock in this summer. That's a lock in on our projects. But yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Next week, same time, Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. More content coming shortly. Got a lot coming out soon. But yeah, peace out, Tim. Peace out, Red Light, JDO. Later. Have a good rest of your day as well. Take care, guys. See you very soon. Peace out. Ah!